Taking on the GoPro Hero 4 range isn't easy. That flagship Hero 4 Black Edition with its 4K video capture pretty much sets the benchmark when it comes to demanding the best from a small action camera. Nevertheless, Garmin have had some success with their Virb range of cameras, but now think they can do better. Throwing GPS and a bunch of extra sensors into the mix, Garmin now present us with their new flagship camera, the Virb XE. Garmin's new action cameras, the Virb X and the flagship Virb XE, are a world apart from its first Virb cameras and aim to take on GoPro for the top spot in the action cameras market. But how can Garmin top GoPro? It's all about sensors. Garmin want to offer every metric right on the screen alongside the video, and that's a seriously useful concept. Identical to the Virb X, this Virb XE is a flagship model featuring extra enhancements over the Virb X, such as high resolutions and enhanced image stabilization. It all sounds rather impressive. Attractively presented at the very top of the package sits the Virb camera itself. Further within the box, users will find some general product documentation, anti-fog inserts, a rechargeable battery pack alongside a proprietary charging cable, a curved adhesive quick release mount along with a flat adhesive mount pre-attached to the camera already, along with several thumb screws, similar to the GoPro thumb screws although more comfortable to use and easily tightened further with the included wrench. And finally some extra mounts, comfortably enough to get users up and running, heading straight into the action. The Virb XE does feature a far chunkier design than that of the GoPro, but note that the exterior is ruggedized in a rock-hard shell. It's not immediately lovable, but the payoff is a dust-proof action camera that can dive to 50 meters underwater without a protective case, and that's a huge bonus. Above all else, it's still light enough to mount on your helmet without giving you neck ache. Sporting a rotating clip mechanism, the quick release system is just that. It's quick and it's super secure. Different to GoPro's quick release system, but equally as impressive. Talking of the GoPro, the standard 2-finger hinge is present here, meaning complete compatibility with the GoPro mounting ecosystem. The main lens dominates the front of the unit, a 12 megapixel CMOS sensor capable of video capture up to 1440p at 30 frames per second or 12 megapixel stills. GoPro is still on top when it comes to 4K video capture, although Garmin state that until 4K televisions become more affordable, it's not a level of quality that most will be after for some years to come. Capturing action sports is more about frames per second than resolution anyway, so capturing 1080p at a speedy 60 frames per second refresh rate is more than enough to capture even the most extreme sports. Until 60 frames per second is available at 4K resolution, Garmin aren't interested. Nevertheless, the top of the unit, where users will have the most interaction, features a nice large LCD display, a tenfold improvement over the GoPro, along with power and menu buttons, a single shutter button, and a physical switch to start and stop video capture, so at a touch you can feel if it's on or off, even when mounted to your head, which is a win for convenience. Other than the Virb text, the rear is free of any function, while one side features weatherproof contacts for the clip-on connector, used for charging and data transfer. It's not standard though, so lose this cable and you'll have to shell out for another. Nevertheless, it's strong enough to stay connected even while using the camera, so no more having to drill holes into the sides of plastic cases, as with the GoPro, and a ruggedized version is available for use in more extreme conditions. A latch on the opposite side can be released to open the entire front cover of the camera, revealing a cavity for the included 980mAh battery to be inserted, which should be good for around 2 hours of recording. A small slot for insertion of a micro SD card up to 128GB being supported, and a slot for inserting the included fog inserts if required. Thankfully, a rubber ring around the front door seals the internals from the elements, and the latch mechanism feels both robust and secure. With a love it or hate it type design, it all comes together rather well. Using the built-in LCD, the unit offers a range of settings and scrolling through each is relatively simple thanks to the well-sized display. Shooting settings can be configured with 2 levels of electronic zoom, and there's built-in lens distortion correction that can be enabled. You can also record video upside down, handy if the camcorder is hanging beneath rather than sticking on top of its mount. There are pro settings available too, including vivid or flat color curves, white balance presets, and 3 levels of video sharpening. The auto exposure can also be limited so you can balance image brightness with grain. Settings can also be controlled via the smartphone app, which provides the usual remote control as well as live streaming to the handset display so you can frame your shot. Like the GoPro, latency is still present with the Virb when in standby, as well as while recording. Not a deal breaker, but a point to note. Regardless, the app is otherwise very stable and works perfectly well. Furthermore, after a day's shooting, users are also able to use the app to edit and share content straight to the popular social media sites. Talking of connectivity, the Virb is clearly aimed at the more extreme sports with its built-in GPS and G-force sensors, as well as an accelerometer and the Garmin standard ANT+, Bluetooth and wireless connectivity, all combined to display data showing how extreme the event really was, such as the speed, what gear you're in, and how extreme a turn was, even your heart rate with the use of a heart rate monitor. Needless to say, when it comes down to connectivity, Garmin are well ahead of the competition. While the Garmin isn't 4K like the GoPro Hero 4, it records 1080p video at 60 frames per second and can be boosted to 1440p if you drop the frame rate to 30. While most may not like Garmin playing it safe here, their point does stand up. Most people don't want 4K recording. It's harder to share, takes up more room on the camera's memory, which means less footage from your day out, and recording it destroys battery life. What's more, of course, most devices aren't even capable of playing it back in all its glory. Nevertheless, shot at 1080p and 60 frames per second, it's clear why this camera is made for action. Not a frame is dropped even at higher speeds. The camera was directly mounted to the vehicle in this example and yet shows little sign of vibration or excessive shaking thanks to the electronic image stabilization working rather well. It's not as good as optical stabilization, but it's still worth having. The wide-angle lens captures a ton of data, all with good, crisp detail with good color reproduction. Despite the lack of 4K, the camera performs remarkably well when it comes to video capture alone. The frame rate during extreme movement, stability, impressive handling of direct sunlight, and detail make it more than capable for recording the most extreme adventures. Typically, such action cameras aren't designed for low light, and the standard noisier image is evident here, which is expected from such a small lens. It's a similar story with audio. Although a built-in microphone is present, audio quality leaves a little to be desired. Nevertheless, equipped with Bluetooth 4, the Virb can connect directly to external Bluetooth headsets to capture audio in high definition, so if you're further away from the camera or want to capture your motorcycle commentary, the Virb XE ensures your audio needs are covered. As you will have noticed from the sample footage, the true beauty of the system is the ability to overlay what Garmin call G-Metrix data, captured from either its built-in or externally connected sensors. All this is made easy with Garmin's free desktop software, Virb Edit. Using the software, users are able to quickly and easily create projects, choosing their own G-Metrix gauges to tailor the video the way they want it, while add music and seamlessly switch between camera angles. It's impressively simple to pick up and use, and provides the ability to create some truly immersive and professional looking results. Garmin is in a very tough market where GoPro has almost completely perfected the action camera offering and dominates by delivering data from its built-in or externally connected sensors, smart sharing options with good software, along with Garmin's history of smart tracking devices. The Virb XE offers something new. Although the action camera market is already crowded, Garmin has managed to produce an extreme sports camera with enough features packed into a relatively small frame to easily make it worth considering. Priced at around the $400 mark for this flagship Virb XE, the lack of 4K shooting is a shame, but otherwise there are some excellent resolution and frame rate choices available, handy manual settings, sensor connectivity, and good image quality. There is also a cheaper Virb X to consider, but that also loses the higher resolution and frame rate options, so the XE really is worth the extra. If you're not into the GoPro and sensor data overlays on your captured video look attractive, then the Garmin Virb XE is definitely the one to go for.